with you is a color. Now, I know that sounds a little strange, but take for instance Ashley, who just spoke. Her name is kind of red and orange, or Keslia Hall, my roommate. Her name is kind of a goldish color. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering exactly how much LSD I took before I gave this presentation, but actually, the answer would be none. My life has been like this ever since I can remember, because I have a condition called synesthesia. It was at this Pizza Hut in London, England, that I discovered I wasn't exactly like everybody else. I was sitting with my family having lunch, and they were discussing why I wanted to be a writer. They asked me about how my process worked and how I would fit words together. I immediately started telling them about how I had to color coordinate all the words, and they had to match up or else I couldn't write them down, and they all kind of just stared at me and said, "What?" So it was then that I realized maybe I'm a little bit different. Ever since I can remember, every time I would write something down, send a text message, or do anything that pertained to words, I would see vibrant colors everywhere. If an orange word was next to a green word, okay, that was not going to work. And I was going to have to reword the whole sentence or text message to make sure that the colors coordinated. Also, I have a photographic memory, which basically means that I can go places or see things and my brain takes a permanent picture of them that I can access whenever I need to. Until last year, I thought this was everybody's everyday life, but apparently not. Now, this is a group of about 2,000 people. How many would you say would experience synesthesia? Maybe 500? 100? 50? Actually, the answer would be just one. According to the American Psychological Association, 1 in every 2,000 people experiences some form of synesthesia. Some of these people that you may recognize are people like Jimi Hendrix and Marilyn Monroe, Paul McCartney and John Mayer, Patrick Stump, and even the one and only Lady Gaga. Now, how exactly does this weird phenomenon work? Well, according to the University of East London, the word synesthesia comes from the two Greek words, syn, meaning together, together, and aesthesia, meaning sensation. Basically, to sum it up, synesthesia just means that your sensations happen together. Now, to explain this, here's a picture of the normal human brain. Now, in this brain, there are areas for connections, for experiences, and how we perceive the world. You might have an area that operates on how you perceive numbers or how you feel textures. Well, in most people's brains, these areas are totally separated and you experience these things at different times. But in a synesthetic brain, somehow a connection gets formed. And so these things happen at the exact same time. So you might end up seeing words in color or tasting a sound. Now, according to Dana.org, synesthesia can be acquired via the ingestion of hallucinogens such as mescaline or LSD, but all idiopathic or developmental synesthesia arises naturally without an external agent. I get people coming up to me all the time that are like, "Oh, you were dropped on your head as a kid, right?" Or, "Oh, you must do so many drugs." Not true. I've been this way ever since I can remember, and I've never had epilepsy or done LSD. Now, there are currently innumerable types of synesthesia. Like, I'm telling you, this number grows every single day. This chart shows about 54 different types of synesthesia. But as people realize that these weird experiences that they're having have a distinct name, they keep coming up with more. I have 3 specific types. The most prominent type is color grapheme. This is my alphabet and sequence of numbers. As you can see, letters like A are red, G is green, and the number 5 is a deep navy color. Now this is what most people would see. This is a sentence from my outline, and this is how most people would perceive it, as black text on a page. But this is how I see it. Even though I'm quite aware that the text coming off the page is actually black, this is how I feel like it should look. And if I don't match up the colors correctly, I have to reword the entire sentence. Now, I also have a form of synesthesia called number form synesthesia, in which my time units are displayed in 3-dimensional models in the space in front of me. These are my days of the week, with Monday starting here, going down to Sunday, and starting all the way back at Monday again. as I move through the week, I move through this chart, and that's how I keep up with what day it is. This also happens for months of the year, with January being here, all the way to May, around the corner to June, over to August, and then all the way back around with December. Also, how I keep track with what time of the year it is. Now this is the years of the last, these are the years of the last century. The 2000s are laid out right in front of me, because it's current, it's now, it's what I can really remember. But all the years before that are lined up in columns. Now, if I need to access information from, say, 1962, my brain zooms into this diagram, the column separates, and the 1 year appears. And all the information I have about 1962 comes to the front of my cognitive perception. Now, the last form of synesthesia that I have is called ordinal linguistic personification. This is where it gets really weird. This can't really be explained by picture, because what this basically means is that my brain assigns emotional value and personalities to letters, numbers, and inanimate objects. Now, this is really convenient being a writer because, well, that means that everything, and I mean everything, is a story. Synesthesia can also be brought on by stress. When I was in 8th grade, well, that was a really stressful time, wasn't it, for us all? And at that time, if I had a pencil and a pen sitting on my desk, say they didn't like each other, say they really didn't get along, I had to make sure that this pencil and this pen were on opposite sides of the desk, or else I could not focus on anything else. And I'm telling you, that gets kind of frustrating. Now, some people view synesthesia as a mental handicap, a disease or a disorder. Because, I mean, really, if somebody came up to you and said, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" "Oh, yeah, that tastes kind of like purple to me." What are you going to do? You're going to look at them and say, "You're absolutely insane. Walk away from me right now." But I don't see it like that. It actually helps me in my life, and I enjoy the different perceptions that I get. I love it because I'm a writer, and this helps my craft. It really is my art. Now, to sum it up, basically, synesthesia is like a quote that American philosopher and psychologist William James once said. It means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an unhabitual way, which basically means that my life goes from black and white to technicolor. Thank you.